it's Carol here. Thanks for joining me again. I thought I'd show you the project that we're going to make today before I even start, and then at least you've got an idea and you can go off and go and get your materials together. Now obviously I'm using the little folks images because I'm making that journal up, and so obviously I want to use those, but you could use whatever images you want from any kit, but it's the idea that you're really following, and then you're using it to create your own version. Okay, so basically this pulls open. It's got a velcro closure, so there's a little flap there, so you can see the little boy is repeated underneath, and then this opens up to reveal a pocket here. This is a paper napkin, and then I've put a piece of vellum over the top there so that I can hang maybe a little booklet over the top, and then it opens up again to reveal some pockets. So again, this is the paper napkin, and then there's a big pocket here, and then there's two smaller pockets here. So you could fit like tags or journaling cards inside of these pockets, so that you've got a little place to store all those different little bits and pieces. And then the back side of this, bit of a mess, but I'm going to glue that to one of the pages in the journal itself, and then, as I say, I'll fill all of these little pockets and things with all sorts of different little bits and pieces, which will then go into the journal. So I hope that you'll enjoy today's video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. Leave me a comment as well, that would be lovely. And if you're a new viewer, please go and hit the subscribe button, because then you'll get the notifications if you hit the bell of any future videos that I make. So I hope you enjoy this. So let's crack on. These are the materials that I'm going to be using. I've got this book, and it's maps and information about places in England, or the UK, because it's got Scotland as well in here, and Ireland and Wales. But the pages that get left most of all, these pages on the back. I'm going to turn it sideways so that we can see it a bit better. And it's the index pages. They kind of get left alone. Now this book measures 11 inches thereabouts by 8.5 inches thereabouts. You can do this with whatever size paper you want. You can use whatever paper you want, but I want to use these pages up, so at least then they're not just going to get thrown in the bin. The other items that I'm going to use are, I found this paper napkin in a bag of goodies that somebody sent me as they were downsizing, and I thought that the title fitted beautifully, as well as the colours in the napkin itself. This is the image I'm going to use, and I'm going to use several of these, so I had to print off several of the pages, and I've got the background paper as well. So here's what I did. So this is one of the pages, and I folded that top edge over there by about 1/2 inch, and then I folded it up again to make about a 2-inch pocket, and then I folded it in half that way, and I've now got a little booklet with pockets in, or a pocket at the moment. All right, so I'm going to cover this front. I'm leaving that one, and this section and this section with that paper napkin, and I'm going to use my Scotch stick glue. So I'm going to place it on a piece of paper. I'm going to take the layers off my paper napkin. So I think there's 2 layers on here. There's one. And the second one. I'm going to take those 2 layers off. So I'm going to cut these into 4 individual pieces. So I'm going to do that bit first. Folded my paper all back up and I'm going to do the front cover because this piece is too big. So I want to make sure that I get the word J'adore in the centre there. So I know that I'm going to have to cut this down, but I'm not going to cut it with my scissors because it always ends up going real jagged. And I've got a really rough edge at the top up here, not that I mind that. So let's do this, get glue on all 4 sides first. And then make sure that I cover every inch. And then I can hover this over the top to get it in the right place. Now on the inside I'll need to pull the pocket back, and this time I will need to trim it because I want one section here and one section there, so I don't want the overlap where that fold is. So I'm going to put glue on the edge there. And it doesn't matter, this is going to extend beyond that fold that makes the pocket. I don't mind that because I can glue that bit down. Okay, so let's just fold that a minute and roughly line it up with the one that's on the front. Now, I'll probably end up with wrinkles, and I don't mean me, I mean the paper. Yeah, to all you cheeky ones that were thinking that. Okay, I'll do the same on this side. And again, just try and line it up as best you can. Remember, we are only human, so you probably won't get anything that's perfect. Okay. And then the other thing that I like to do is, I don't actually want to use this one, I need to go downstairs and go and get my other one, but the Liquitex matte medium, I like to then go over the top of that with a layer to protect it, and I'm going to glue that little bit down, which is going to go round to the back. So I'm just going to go and get this other glue, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. So I've got my little paintbrush, a little straight edge paintbrush, got my little paint tray. I'm just going to put some water in there. Oh, I've locked it, come on. I'm just going to just dab wet the edges of that napkin, and it spreads like mad. And then I should be able to just pull away at those edges. I'll do the same down the side. Then might just stick that little bit down. And I've got a straight edge at the bottom. Yeah, no. So I'll do it as a ripped edge, Carol. Come on. Then it matches the rest. Whilst I was downstairs, I went and made myself a cup of tea as well. And that to remind me, kept reminding myself, you've come down for the glue, Carol, you've come down for the glue, Carol, because I knew full well that I would walk upstairs with my cup of tea and think, I've forgotten something. What was it? Anyway, I remembered. But anyone who's watching these videos back to back will be thinking, blimey, I've drunk a lot of tea. And well, let me tell you, it's an English pastime, drinking a cup of tea. Right, so that's that done. Yeah, happy with that. Oh, I want that piece of paper back. Okay, so I remembered the glue. And the difference between the two is this is a matte medium, so it's almost like a liquid. This is a matte gel. So it is just like gel. So it's really thick, whereas this is really fluid. And I just prefer this one. And then with a real cheapo paintbrush, which I got from Hobbycraft, so my friends from the UK that are watching this will know where I mean. To the point where if these get forgotten to be washed, which is normally what I do, I forget to wash them, I don't mind throwing them away. You get about 4 or 5 in a pack, and they used to be £1. I don't know how much they are now. So I really didn't mind throwing them if I forgot to wash them out. Now you need to be careful because I don't know whether you can see. Can you see it's lifting up? That's because it's got this gel on top. It'll settle, but you've got to be careful that you don't press too hard, because the tissue will just pull away. So just do a little at a time and work your way through. So I'm going off to go and do this. I'm going to wait for it to dry. I'm going to drink my cup of tea, and I'll see you back here in a minute. This hasn't fully dried yet, so I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, but I need it for the measurement. So I can see that if I put this end on the edge of the book, I've got an overhang here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that bit round to the back, which is about there. So we'll just do a quick rough bit there. So then that will be round the background there. And then I want to just cut this little fella off here. And then I want to cut one of these panels out. And then I want to flip it over. And on this corner, I want to stick the whole of that image over there. So that now makes that really nice and sturdy, and then I can cut that out. This piece has practically dried now, so what I want to do is I want to put glue across this first fold to glue the whole thing down. And that'll fold up to make the pocket. So there will be glue down this edge down here and down here, but before I do that, I want to do a little bit of stenciling across the top up there, because obviously that's going to be visible. And I've got my Distress Oxide weathered wood, and I'm just using my little brush I'm just laying it down across that top bit. So I'm doing it darker at the top and then fading out. So only going over that bottom bit lightly. So that it looks like that. I'm going to do the same on the front cover bit. Darker across the top. And then fade out. And then I've also got Victorian velvet, which I'm just going to do across this bottom bit down here. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the bottom, but with the Victorian velvet. There we go, so it now matches with the background of the napkin. You might not need to do this depending on what napkin you use, but I just thought it looked really pretty. So before I stick this down, I actually want a strip of paper to go across there, and I'm not sure. These are from the Really Useful Delicates kit. My printer started running out of ink. Kind of thinking the blue, because it then goes with that blue. So I'm going to cut a piece out that's narrowly smaller, so I've got a little bit of a border all the way around, so 11 by 2 and a fraction off. I'm thinking that I might attach that around 3 sides up to the centre, and then those 3 sides, so then I've got a little mini pocket there. So I think I'm going to do that. Let me just fold it in half. Then I know where the centre point is. Okay. So then I've got a little mini pocket. Works well. Okay, front. I'm going to ink these up just to get rid of that white core edge. And do the same on the back. All right. Let's just start sticking some of this together. Right, so we did this fold here. Do you like the way I said we? That was the royal we, meaning me. Because obviously you didn't do it because you're not here. So I'll just do that with my doings. And I'm going to stick it on the back. So go there. So instead of sticking it round, I'm going to open that up. Oh, have I got that the right way up? Yeah, I have. Ooh, let's check. So I'm going to put that right up close to the edge of that fold and then flip that over so that it's a really nice tight fit. So that when we close that up, really nice and tight on that edge, and then that will flip open like that. Best laid plans, it all went a bit wrong, so I've had to cut that little flap bit off that I thought I needed. I've lined him up so that it matches up with the picture, and that's trim a little bit off the top and bottom, and I'm going to use this blue now and I'm going to stick him on the front there. So I'm basically covering over that green, but hey ho, there's say best laid plans of mice and men. So it'll now be white on the back because I haven't printed on the back of this piece of paper and my printer's run out of ink. So we're making do. Right, try again. So we're cutting across there. We're cutting down there. And we're trimming that bit off at the bottom. Then we're going to ink up the edges. Right. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back here. Just on that blue piece. And I'm going to very carefully position the image so that it sits where it's supposed to. And then I'm going to carefully flip it over. And then that piece will wrap around the back. But I've left it so that some of the blue extends beyond the cover of the book. So it extends here, but I don't mind that. This part will now act as the closure, but when I open it up, I've got all this white space here. So I'm going to use the weathered wood again and my stencil so that it'll blend in with the rest of it. And then from there I can add my closure, which is going to be these Velcro dots. So I want to put a spongy one there. And then sit a clear one on top of it, and the sticky is facing up, so that when I close it up it will adhere to the front part. So that you can't really see that small bit there. So that will close like that so that it all matches up, and then that will open up. That will open up. I'm going to put a little pocket on the back matching the papers up, so I'm going to fiddle on with that. I could put a belly band across here, maybe in vellum, so that the jadot is still visible. And then when I open it up, I've got these here that I need to stick down, so we'll just put a little bit of glue on each end, and that will close up there. And then I've got a pocket to fill here, pocket to fill there, pockets to fill there once the glue's stuck. And that's it sort of done really. And then what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to put glue all on the back, and that will stick to a page in the journal. I might put a little tab or a little bit of lace on there so that it's easier to pull, and then I'm not going to keep tugging on the actual card. Yeah, we'll see. So that opens up like that, that flips open like that, there'll be a pocket there, there might be a belly band there, that opens up to that, pocket, 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 pocket. That glue's still not set yet. And done and dusted. And then that's another image used up. So this is it now, all complete. I've added some extra little bits and pieces onto it, which you will have seen at the beginning of this video. So I did add on some lace onto the card. I did add on the belly band with the vellum across the centre there. But otherwise everything else is still the same. So I'm going to go off now and go and make some of the tags and little booklets and things that I want to put inside of this. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've been inspired to maybe go off and go and make your own, and I'll see you all again really soon. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye.